You spent 1 hour analyzing your lunch order, you'd call that insane. But you spend days analyzing real life decisions. You know that voice that whispers, just think it through one more time? Yeah, that voice is straight up lying to you. Overthinking isn't helping you solve problems. It's like mental quicksand that sucks away your energy and leaves you paralyzed. You're not getting clearer. You're just digging the same mental rut deeper. Here's the real deal. This isn't about meditation or positive thinking. This is like hitting the reset button on your brain's operating system. Starting today, you can actually stop that overthinking loop and get your mental clarity back. The debug mindset. Why analysis fails. Here's what's happening. Your brain's risk assessment system is basically glitching out. It's treating every tiny decision like it's life or death, flooding your system with stress hormones for stuff that absolutely doesn't deserve that kind of emergency response. Here's the scientific reality. No emotional state lasts longer than 90 seconds unless you actively feed it with more thoughts. Your brain's pattern recognition is basically misfiring, connecting current situations to old stuff that doesn't even apply anymore. The shift you need to make is simple. Stop trying to solve everything and start just collecting data about why this particular thing hits you so hard. The real cost isn't just time wasted. It's the clarity and focus you sacrifice to endless mental loops that never actually move you forward. Action. Step 1. The trigger audit. All right, let's get real for a minute. What are your top 3 mental loop triggers right now? I'm talking about those thoughts that consistently suck you into that overanalysis spiral. Think of each trigger like a puzzle piece that slots perfectly into some past moment where you felt totally powerless or threatened. Your reaction right now isn't about what's actually happening. It's your brain screaming danger based on some outdated programming from years back. Here's the key reframe. You're not dwelling on the past. You're collecting diagnostic data about your old mental software. The skill is learning to separate then from now. That fear of being judged at work probably connects back to childhood stuff where approval felt conditional. That anxiety about making the wrong call likely comes from past moments where mistakes had way bigger consequences than they should have. But here's what changes everything. You've got adult resources now that your younger self didn't have. Financial independence, emotional maturity, problem-solving skills. These are your actual tools that make those old fears pretty much irrelevant. For each trigger, create a specific reframing statement. Instead of, I might make a terrible mistake, try, I'm equipped to handle whatever outcome emerges. Map these triggers to their automatic patterns so you can catch them before they hijack your mental energy. Action. Step 2. The interrupt protocol. You've got about 3 seconds between trigger and response. That's your tiny window to break the pattern. The second you feel that familiar spiral starting, do a physical reset. Change your breathing right away. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Shift your posture. Stand up if you're sitting, or just move to a different spot. Your environment is part of the pattern, so changing the physical context helps break the mental loop. Now flip the script in your head. Instead of, this is a problem I need to solve, switch to, this is just data about what triggers me. The actual thought matters way less than the pattern it represents. Then, ask the most powerful question for breaking overthinking. What's next? Not what if or why, but what's the very next physical action I can take? I was talking to my friend Sarah, who had this brutal perfectionism loop at work. Every project would start with days of total paralysis because she was terrified of imperfect results. Here's what she started doing. The moment that this has to be perfect thought popped up, she'd immediately stand up from her desk, take 3 deep breaths while looking out the window, and say out loud, this is just data about my fear of criticism, not about the actual task. Then she'd ask, What's the absolute next tiny step? And do exactly that. Nothing more. Within weeks, she went from days of mental prep to just minutes. Breaking the pattern gives your prefrontal cortex a chance to actually do its job instead of letting your panic button, the amygdala, run the whole show. Action step 3, the rewire system. Now let's build your new mental environment. This isn't about fighting old patterns. It's about designing better ones that make overthinking completely unnecessary. Start with micro commitments, the smallest possible actions that prove movement is possible without endless analysis. Instead of overthinking your entire Monday to-do list, your micro commitment is just to open the first document for 5 minutes. If you normally overthink emails for hours, just commit to writing one sentence within 60 seconds of opening your inbox. That momentum breaks the paralysis cycle. Remove triggers with hard boundaries. Uninstall the apps that feed comparison loops. Set time limits on research that becomes circular. Create physical spaces where overthinking isn't allowed. Your environment should support clarity, not keep triggering your old patterns. Practice calibration by identifying your clearest sources, those people, places, or activities where decisions feel obvious and natural. Spend more time there. The goal is shifting from automatic reactions to chosen responses. You're not suppressing the urge to overthink. You're building systems where that urge doesn't get triggered in the first place. The compound effect is what matters. Each time you choose action over analysis, you strengthen neural pathways that make clarity your default setting. This isn't willpower. It's environmental design that makes the right choice the easiest choice. Conclusion: your new default setting. You've basically transformed from someone who just reacts to triggers into someone who actually responds with intention. That shift changes everything. Clarity becomes your normal operating system instead of some rare visitor. All that mental energy you wasted on circular thinking now actually fuels real progress. Here's your commitment. Use this protocol just once today. The next time you feel that familiar spiral starting, apply the interrupt, physical reset, cognitive reframe, and what's next action. Remember, progress beats perfection every single time. This isn't about never overthinking again. It's about catching it faster and course correcting sooner. Your brain's been running on some outdated software. Today you started the upgrade. If this system helped you break through mental loops, subscribe for more frameworks that turn psychological insights into practical tools. The link below has additional resources for designing your cognitive environment. Now go test this with one small decision today and actually feel the difference.